Hey everyone, it's Haley, and today I'm going to be talking about my recommended reads for science fiction. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you are an avid sci-fi reader, don't even bother watching this video because I am not an avid sci-fi reader. Sci-fi is my least favorite genre. It's just kind of not for me. I do love Doctor Who though, which is weird, but I find for the most part, sci-fis I don't really enjoy that much. I really kind of struggle with it, so you've probably heard of most of the books that I'm going to talk about today if you are a huge sci-fi reader, so I'm sorry, but it's just not really my thing. So now that you know that, I'm just going to get into my sci-fi recommendations. And by the way, as usual, if I have any reviews for any of the books that I am talking about today, I will link them down below for you. So my first one is These Broken Stars by Amy Kaufman and Megan Spooner. I have only read the first book in this trilogy. It's a companion trilogy called the Starbound Trilogy. I do have the last one over there, but I don't have the second one yet, which is why I haven't completed the trilogy, but I listened to the audiobook of this one and I absolutely loved it. I find actually with sci-fi that if I listen to the audiobook, I enjoy it more, which is kind of weird, but I don't know. It's not like too scientific. You can really understand it, and it adds this whole mystery aspect to it in this book. It's basically, in the beginning it's kind of like Titanic, and then it takes this whole sci-fi twist. They end up on this planet and lots of weird things start happening on this planet, and it's the daughter of like the president of the ship that they were on and this soldier, and they really don't like each other, but they're stuck on this planet together, so they're gonna have to learn to work together, especially since there's some crazy stuff happening on the planet. So I just think this book was fabulous. I loved the writing, and I just thought it took me on like this adventure, and it wasn't too difficult for me to understand, which I really liked. This was really the first sci-fi book that I really enjoyed, and I just think that the rest of the trilogy is going to be just as fabulous. Next is Illuminate, which is by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. Amy Kaufman was one of the co-writers for These Broken Stars, and this book, when it first came out, was absolutely blowing up all over BookTube, so I decided to give it a shot, and I absolutely loved it. Like, I just think it's the coolest thing. It's all about this ship that is going to crash, and they're like, it's told in like all of these crazy things. It's told completely in like I don't even know what you call, like chat logs. Like, it has all of these different things that are going on in it. It's not a normal book by any means. It has all this stuff like chat logs, surveillance footage summaries, like all of that stuff, and you basically follow this girl as like this ship is about to crash and their enemies are coming to attack them. Like, it's so nuts, so fast-paced. I listened to the audiobook for this one as well, and the audiobook is so fantastic. It has different actors for all of the different characters in the book, and it was just such an adventure. That's really the only way I can think to describe it, and it's really worth all the hype. I think it definitely lives up to it. Next is the Across the Universe trilogy by Beth Revis. So this consists of Across the Universe, A Million Suns, and Shades of Earth. And this trilogy, once again, one of the things that I noticed that I like in sci-fi is mystery. This book really takes a mystery aspect because it's this girl has woken up after she's supposed to be frozen on this ship until they land on a planet, but she ends up getting woken up early, and she ends up being woken up on the ship. So she has to learn how to live life on this ship where she's kind of an alien to them. And there's this whole mystery surrounding who woke her up, like how did this happen, and it just is a crazy adventure where you really don't know what's going on through the whole series. My only real complaint is that I find that these two books are really similar. It was kind of like the same storyline, just a different take on it, like different characters. But the last one really just goes absolutely crazy, and I just found this series to be so much fun, and I loved the characters, and it was really great. Next is the Lunar Chronicles series by Marissa Meyer. Now, I'm only holding up the first book, Cinder, and the second book, Scarlet, because these are the only two that I have read so far. I'm waiting for Crest to come on Book Outlet in the hardcover because I've seen it there before, and I don't really want to pay full price for it, so I'm waiting. So I haven't continued with the series, but I have heard that Cress is the best, and I'm really excited for it. I just am waiting for it to like go on sale. So I love this series. It's basically a sci-fi retelling of Cinderella in the first book, where Cinderella is a cyborg, and then the second book is a retelling of Little Red Riding Hood. Then the third one is Rapunzel, and the fourth one, Winter, which is on my shelf, that one's Snow White. So it is just so crazy. I love the retelling and having it mixed with sci-fi. It's such a unique take on retelling a fairy tale, and the villains in this series, like, you just absolutely hate. You cannot stand her, and she just irks you. Like, the series is just really engrossing and super unique and awesome, and that is definitely why I love it. And my final recommendation is Passenger by Alexandra Bracken. This is a time travel book, so I find that I really like that as well. And the main character is this violin prodigy who finds herself taken years away from present day, and she has no idea what's going on or how she got there, and it's basically her trying to figure it out. And she meets this guy, Nick, who he's on a ship in, I forget what year, but it's a really long time ago, and she meets him, like, they meet each other, and they kind of go on this crazy adventure through time together, trying to figure out what on earth is going on and how she ended up there. So it is just an absolutely crazy adventure through time and space, and I love it, and it just makes me think of Doctor Who, so I really like it. So those are all of my sci-fi recommendations. I hope this helped some of you. Like I said, I know that you guys have probably heard of most of these books, but I'm not huge into sci-fi. It's just not my favorite. I've tried to get into it a lot, but it's just not really happening, so I'm just accepting that it's just not really my thing. But yeah, let me know if you have read any of these books before, your thoughts on them, and yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!